0% making charges on jewelry is one of the biggest scams that customers fall prey to, and I'll explain how this works and how you can ensure you don't overpay your jeweler for the jewelry that you buy. So firstly, it's important to understand that jewelers charge anywhere between 5 to 20% as making charges on the value of the gold. But this is where they start making money even when it's 0% making charge. The first thing is they will add a line item called wastage charges. Now typically wastage charges are included within the making charge and are roughly between 2 to 3% the value of the gold. However, in this case, they will say, oh, the wasting charge is above 5% because it's a more intricate design, which means they've made 3% from you anyway. The next thing is the gold rate which is prevailing. Now, what do most customers do? They go on Google and check the prevailing gold rate. But when they compare it to the jeweler is actually charging 300 rupees extra because they'll say the rate that you're referring to online is not right and all jewelers will give the rate that I am giving you right now. Now imagine if you're buying 50 grams weight of jewelry, you've already paid him 15,000 rupees extra on account of the extra gold rate that he's charging. Then comes another trick, which is the stones, gems and embellishments on such jewelry. So even though they'll tell you 0% making charge, they're actually charging you a much higher margin on these stones and gems that they've attached to that jewelry. Then comes another point, which is the buyback policy. So typically when you buy something from the jeweler will say, if you have to sell it back to us, we will buy it at say 90% the value of the gold. But on a lot of these items, they'll say we'll only pay you 70% the value of the gold. Now comes the point, where should you check the prevailing gold rate? Now there are a lot of sources, but one source to refer to is the IBJA rate, which essentially stands for the Indian Bullion Dealers and Jewelers Association. They give a rate in the morning as well as in the evening and is typically about 1 to 2% higher than the gold rate because that is what the association has decided. At least try and compare that rate with what the jeweler is giving you. I've given a lot more in the description. Share it with someone who may need it.